Hello and welcome to my unboxing and reboxing of Pirates of Maracaibo. Maracaibo, not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly. It says a standalone game at the top. So if you were wondering about that part, it's definitely a standalone game. It is a 1 to 4 player game. It says it's roughly 25 minutes per player. So when we first look inside the box, we have 2 decks of cards, a bag of smaller components, and a bag of bags before we get down to the rule book. Okay, and we do have a components guide for the rest of our components here. So, for our cards, it says there should be 42 Tier 1 cards, 41 Tier 2 cards, and 25 Quest cards. So this first deck that I opened is mostly Tier 2 cards, it looks like. The cards are made up of locations, residences, and improvements. Okay, let's look at all of the cards together here. So this back is supposed to be for the solo cards. It says there are 12 of them. So this is the back for the solo cards, and they look something like this. Then we have 25 quest cards. Quest cards have this back, and they look like this. They're upside down. So then for our Tier 1 cards here, we have Tier 2 cards. Okay, so these are the 12 residences. The residences have the 1 on the back, but they also have this pentagon icon of a building, and they look like this. Then we have our 8 location cards. They have this back, so they look like they have a little island inset, and these are actual locations. And then we have our 22 improvements that have the simple 1 on the back and look like this. There's 42 total of these Tier 1 cards, and there's 42 Tier 2 cards. They look like this. And they have the back that looks like this. So that's all the cards. Next, we have all our smaller components here. It says approximately, but not exactly, so we don't know how many of each. Approximately 125 marker cubes in different colors and quantities. White pearls, green emeralds, yellow gold, and gray upgrades. So there's definitely way more of the gray cubes than the green, yellow, and white. For the yellow, this particular, I'm imagining that they're not all identical, and it's since it says approximate, but this particular copy has 26 of the gold squares. We have 22 white squares. We have 22 green cubes and a whole lot more gray. See how many grays we have. And these are not wooden, these are a light plastic. In fact, they're a very bouncy light plastic. Lining them up so that they're easy to count is harder when your wrist is in a brace and doesn't bend the way that it should. Okay, so we had exactly 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. We had exactly 60 gray cubes. So we had exactly 60 gray cubes. When we add the 22 green and the 22 white, that brings us to 104. And then we add, no, we have 22. Okay, I don't know what I was counting before. but we have 22 gold as well. So I miscounted when I thought I had 6 in this row. Okay, so I have 22, 22, and 22 of these. So that brings us to a total of 60 plus 22 plus 22 is 104, plus another 22 is 126. So there's 126 cubes that came in this copy, which is approximately 125, I guess. Next, we have 3 rating dice. The rating dice are 3 wooden D6s. There's a white, there's a yellow, and a green, and they are standard D6 sides. We have 4 ship tokens, 1 in each player color. So our player colors are turquoise, green, yellow, and black. The turquoise, this is the ship shape in the turquoise color. This is one of the ships. We also have 4 scoring tokens, which are an arrowhead shape, 1 in each player color, and 4 explorer tokens, 1 in each player color, and they look like a little person. Next, we have our exploration board. Our board looks like this. And on the back, it has the title of the game. And then we have punch boards. We have 7 punch boards here. The first punch board has some of our doubloon tokens on it. There should be 25s, 22s, and 22 ones. This one has 1 1, 7 of the 2s, and 8 of the 5s on the board. And they are pretty. They're designed like this. A little bit hard to see on the camera. And, whoa, these are falling out. These are 2 of the 4 hideout boards. There should be 1 per player, and 1 of the reverse sides is for the solo mode. Okay, so this is the regular board, the regular hideout board here. And this is the reverse of the ones that are not for the solo mode. Some nice art. But the one that is for the solo mode looks like this on the reverse. Our next punch board has our 6 treasure value tiles, in addition to 5 in each player color of double-sided black market tiles. So these down here are the treasure value tiles. And then these are the double-sided black market tiles. So on the back, they look like this. Over here, this is the ruby market tile for the rubies module, and these are the ruby supply tiles. And then we have a 2 and 2 1s of our coins. Now on this punch board, we have our 12 figurehead tiles. They are double-sided, and we also have 4 of our 5 doubloon coins and 5 of our 2 doubloon coins. Those look like this. On the back, the figureheads have the same art, but none of the information. And so these figureheads do have this particular shape. So when punched out, they look like this shape. Next, we have a punch board with more coins. There are 8 5s, a 1, and 7 2s. And then we have 2 more of our single-sided player boards. They don't have, they are the same as the first one and don't have a solo board on the back. Next, we have our 3 treasure island boards, 1, 2, and 3. We have 7 more of our 1 coins. And then we have these double-sided player tokens. There are 7 for each player color. On here, I see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 green, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blue, the 7 black, and the 7 yellow. Oh, and then we have 3 more of the ones over here. Now, as these tokens are small, oh, also on this board, we have this tile here. This is for the retirement module, and it is a residence discount tile. These tokens are going to be specific per player, and they're very small. So I'm going to go ahead and start my player bags. I was going to make one of these bags per player and put all of their colored components in them. And I'm going to go ahead and do that right now rather than put them on the table. So on the back side, these are printed differently. They do have this 50 on the back of the greens, and all of them have this 50 with a shield on the back. On our next punch board, we have 2 of our 4 ship boards. There is 1 per player, and one of them is double-sided for the solo. It looks like none of these are. But this is what the ship boards look like. All these little cannons punch out, like where my finger is underneath down here. And they're just placeholders on the back. These 2 ships also have 4 of the 1 doubloon coins on the punch board. And then our last punch board is the other 2 ship boards plus the last 4 of the coins. And on the back, we do have the solo ship board. So to pack this back up, I'm going to start by getting the bigger board in the box, and then the 4 ship boards, and then the 4 player boards. And then we'll look at bagging everything else here. So we have our player bags that I was assembling here, these 1, 2, 3, 4. We can go ahead and split up the other tokens for each color. These are big and they're not going to go in a bag. These are our Treasure Island boards. We have our Emerald board and our Pearl board and our Gold board. I'm going to go ahead and put the dice down in there and these little bags. And now we have 2 little bags left and 1 big bag. Let's see here. I think I'm going to use one of these little bags that the little meeples came in and stick the 6 treasure value tiles in one. I am going to take all the cards and I'm going to put them in the big bag here so they don't slide around as much. Then I'm going to take 1 bag for these little components that are left. It's the ones for the rubies module, the one for the retirement module, and then our 12 figureheads here, and stick them in 1 bag. And our last bag will get all the coins. That's what makes sense to me with the number of bags that I was provided. If I had more bags, I would probably split up the cards especially so that the single player cards are not stored with the regular cards so that they aren't damaged when playing with a group. Coins can go down in there, and then our 4 player bags. I said all that, and I actually did have 2 extra bags. So I'm going to do what I just said. I am going to split the cards, pull out the solo ones. And then I'm also going to pull out the figureheads and give them the other bag. So I have 1 bag that is just module pieces and 1 bag that is the figureheads. And I have an extra gray cube. Hopefully I counted those right when I gave you a count before. Otherwise, we've got 1 more. I'm not going to recount them now. I'm just going to put that cube away. And put the rules back on top, and we can close up the box. Thank you for joining me for this unboxing and reboxing. This game is now ready for us to take to the table and play. And if this was helpful to you at all, if you would give us a like and a subscribe and come back for more videos. Thanks.